everyone, it is Wednesday, the 2nd of November 2022, and it's 1:25 in the afternoon. Let me see if I can fix this. Right, so I am, let's think about today. I got up when boss got me up, so around 8:15 I think it was, and you had a vet appointment, but I was doing something and it made me late. At the top of my head, I don't remember what that something was, but I didn't make it to the vet until, so whatever I was doing pushed me out to the point of, alright, if I don't find lip balm pretty soon, dry mouth and fucking dry lips and all that shit, it's not cool. And I'm gonna ulcer, like, it's, you might not be able to see it in the video, but there's like a fucking hole in my mouth, yeah? Anyway, I was doing something on the computer. Absolutely positive I haven't made a video yet today, so I don't think it was that. Maybe just catching up on the world news, maybe Reddit. I think I read something on Reddit, which made me sad. Anyway, I sent through a message to the person who I have mentioned that I met at Toastmasters last week, the retired fellow next to me, and I sent him through a message this morning saying, hey, I know it's short notice, however, if you happen to be free, would you like to catch up for a coffee? So he and I are meeting each other at a cafe, sort of like between each other's distances, to meet up, because I've got my Zoom meeting tomorrow morning with the person who I pay the fees to. I am going to ask if I can, that's my handbag chain in the background making noises, by the way. Still not seeing hot or cream. Anyway, where the fuck did I put it? Oh, there it is. Oh, you know, I probably can't see anything because I'm always on and off again forgetting if I'm wearing my fucking glasses. And the amount of times I've driven my car out of the driveway and managed to get around the corner before I realised that I can't see properly. Way more times than is you would think, right? Speaking of which, anyway, so I'm organising that. So going to see him, and I'm very excited. I want us to be a guest this week simply because the last one I attended was the contest, and I have no idea what a regular one involves. I think it's a given that I know, and probably all of you know, that I am 100% going to be joining. Truthfully, I would just like to pay when I get paid next, not have to rush it when really a week's a week, right? Anyway, I got to the vet, thankfully. It was just sort of in and out, quick injection for boss and his old age joints and limbs and whatnot. I do feel for my dog though, because he really does need a walk, and I have confused him a few times, but that's okay. It was, funnily enough, I was pushing back whatever I was doing on the computer. I'm just gonna say I was waking up, yeah. And then I jumped in the shower. Now, I'd ordered my groceries last night, and I had planned to pick them up in the hour period when boss had the vet appointment. But because I just kept fucking around, I didn't fall asleep, and I don't think I even shut everything down until after 1:30. Not totally sure, but I was pretty wired, and I think it's because I took my last Ritalin too late by accident. Anyway, I was I fucking need to have a shower. I need to have a shower. I knew that. Which is why I called the vet, and I was like, since it's only one of the nurses doing it, does it really matter if I'm on time or not? And then I got a text back, and they're like, no, it's fine. Don't stress. And I'd organize because so what happened was obviously I was wired more than usual, yeah, and I was smoking weed, right? Plus I'd had my massage, so I was in fucking crippling pain because my Chinese little lady, who I just love her pieces, I really need to learn some basic Chinese language though. I literally asked her to use the translation app and spoke into it saying, can you please do relaxation massage for the last 10 minutes? I'm not sure that she understood what I meant because she was like, yeah. But no, that nothing relaxing about it, right? So anyway, I forget shit. What can I say? And Graham started saying classic Liv, and I remember the first couple of times he said it, like my inner part of me that's just was like, that noise must have been really weird. Boss is like looking at me like, what the fuck did you do, Mum? Anyway, I kept forgetting I hadn't finished it, right? So I kept putting my phone away as I was doing it online, and I obviously wanted to pick it up in the same time frame, because if the person who I'm meeting for coffee hadn't have been available, I had planned on spending my entire afternoon trimming my weed that is now dry and hanging in my meditation room, because as we know, a lot of us know, if you're new, I'm legally prescribed cannabis. Medical grade weed is the best weed I've ever had in my whole life, but it's medically grade, so it costs on par. Don't get me wrong, it's a really good, decent price, but I smoked weed before I was legally prescribed it, and literally as soon as I got the legal pieces of paper saying yes, she's prescribed, yes, she could have it on her possession, yes, she can have it with her, blah blah blah, I immediately started growing it because it's such a fucking stupid law anyway, that I'm not allowed, and in different states in Australia you are allowed. So as a Kiwi who thinks every state having a different fucking governing body, and it doesn't make any fucking sense that there's no universal laws, which I personally think should be universal, as in not each country but around the world. Quick point in, like, to give you a recap, like, of why I think this. If you take the the American basketball woman who is legally prescribed weed, cannabis, vape oil, hash in her country, so it's perfectly legal for her to have it, accidentally forgetting to take it out of her bag before going into Russia for one of these fucking basketball tournaments, is now being sentenced to 9 years in jail. Like, to me, that is absolutely bonkers on every single fucking level, and I'm just praying that they get her back, because, like, how is that okay? It can't, like, this is where the bigger picture, the global stuff comes in with me. It's like, stop fucking, it's not a competition. We're not meant to be against each other. Like, I think this whole 6 years coming around and all the stuff coming up and the tests I'm going through and the very heightenedly aware of shit that I'm just, wow. Not able to explain in videos yet because I'm still trying to figure it out my own self. Anyway, like, this is where my thoughts go, right? But anyway, so I missed the cutoff for the time slot that I wanted. By the time I actually got around to making the finished shot, which, upon looking back, is more expensive than I would have thought. Like, how much I spent on shopping costs more than what it would cost me to get 10 pre-packed meals sent to me. But in all fairness, I had to, like, stock up on dog food and, like, hand soap and those sorts of things, and dessert, because I have finally conceded and accepted that if I don't have some kind of dessert in my house, that is when I will spend fucking money on Uber Eats. And when I'm stoned, I can justify any amount that I want on Uber Eats if I've got the munchies. So it's better to just be stocked up, I've decided. And for whatever reason, I would say many multiple reasons combined, I thankfully am not actually overeating at nighttime and like to make up for during the day, because I am making myself eat throughout the day, even though it's probably not as much as I should be, but I'm working on it. Let's say that, yeah. Anyway, I had to then decide whether I was going to go back out and pick them up sometime in the afternoon. And again, at this point, I hadn't asked the person about, I really should pay attention to the clock. I hadn't actually asked if he wanted to catch up. And, like, I did not know this until I started growing weed, but fucking trimming the leaves off the actual buds takes way longer and way more effort than I think any person out there who buys weed on the street from someone illegally has any idea. Because believe you me, I've always been one of those, a quarter should be $70, you know, it's $10 a gram, 7 grams, $70. Then as you go up, you get half a bag, yeah? So you got 14 grams, but to me, that's like, instead of being 140, it should be 120. And then again, you go up to the ounce, and it's supposed to keep getting cheaper, but at different times throughout the years, it becomes dry. And like, I remember like really going through it a few times before I legally got prescribed. And like, I thank God, and will advocate for the rest of my life that weed is a medicine and a gift from the universe. And I personally think that if you get real paranoid on weed, it's because you've already got something within you that's being heightenedly brought to your awareness. It's just that most people don't like to go within. Now, looking at myself, and I can't fucking tell if it's just my angle or not, I feel like my face is all red and my neck is red. In the last few days, I've been getting these like stress fucking rashes. Like, oh, literally, the other day, whenever I got my grade back, and in all fairness, 50 is a pass. 50 is the pass. That's what I need to pass, yeah? So considering I wrote the majority of my second essay in just pain and exhaustion levels that were so far off the charts, that I was sort of like, you know, getting a 72 is actually amazing. So I really have to flip my shit these days, because it wasn't until I was talking to the other guy on the phone yesterday when I realized my mantra is everything is on my side. And as soon as I start saying that, all the synchronicities start popping back up. But yeah, I do have fucking hours of work ahead of me with the weed, but it's totally worth it. And now that I know I'm in my home and I'm safe, and that there's no end date in sight currently, I will probably grow again, because each time I do it, I learn something new. And the number one thing I've learned, though, is, well, there's multiple things, but the number one thing is ask the people I get the babies from to give them to me when they're not babies. So the one that is drying, or that's dried in my other room, because I was originally given the impression I had 60 days, or, you know, not much long after, I immediately contacted the person that I talked to. He literally fucking works in a hydraulic store, so, you know, hydroponics. I always get those two mixed up, one or the other. Anyway, he's who I get my babies from, but this time the baby wasn't a baby. It was more like a toddler. It's a toddler weed plant. And that little difference of me not having to deal with the baby plant I don't know, maybe it's just a general thing for me. Babies, you know, they're not my thing, but that's cool. Leggy. Anyway, wrap the stories up, woman. So, where am I at? Right, yes, plants. I'm thinking I may grow again. Haven't decided yet. But I do have lots of things that I have learned, right? Number one, getting the plant when it's slightly bigger. Number two, making sure the fucking fan is on correctly because, oh my God, did I fuck myself up at the last of my last grow. My plant, I mean, I'm excited and I'm looking forward to seeing how much there is. And I even remembered to get batteries to make my kitchen scales work again, so as I go I can keep track. And I'm either going to listen to Graham's novel being read out to me while I do it, whenever I do it. I might start this evening, perhaps. Or I can always bring it in here once the curtains are closed and watch something I've already seen, because it takes more effort, like I've just said, and more time than I would have ever imagined. So I can't be trying to concentrate on stuff, yeah? Anyway, basically the rest of my day has gone live because I couldn't get the time slot, because I didn't want to have to go out again unless it was to have a coffee. I got my groceries delivered. There are different kinds of settings with the delivery. There's like the normal scheduled whatever you pay amount, and then there's this like partnered express. You pay slightly more, but they get to you faster, yeah? So I went with that option. And I had specifically said knock on the door, because the last time I went with this option, I didn't even know they'd come and gone. I was here and I'd no fucking idea. And because, like I said, I filled up on ice creams and dessert, it wasn't like they could be out. So I jumped in the shower and I heard knocking. And boss was going mental, and I was like, okay, so it's either Andrew, because I'd sent him a picture of my bag, and I'll put the photo up, like, so my bag, my clutch that I've been using, because all my other fucking bags are broken, like, Jesus, I need to sort through shit. We're going to have another one of those fun sort of filming on the stand wine and weed nights soon, I think, because I got so much to sort through. But yeah, either way, my bag was broken, and I'd sent photos to Andrew, and I was like, I get the feeling this would be a real simple fix for you if you could please help me. And he'd said, I'll see you when I see you, not knowing when. Either way, boss wouldn't stop, and I was like, okay, I'm getting out. So I sort of wrapped a towel around me and ran to the door and checked, and it was Andrew. And I was able to like quickly shut boss into the living room, shut the door. And then Andrew sort of like, I was like, come in. And I was like, I'm going to go and finish. I was like, you come in, bag's right there. You do your thing and I'll have like the quickest shower ever. So I did. And then we had a chat, which was also cool. He helped me to see that going to my old pharmacist and asking why I've been charged 2.5 times the amount of my private medication when my new pharmacist is charging me $13 and my old pharmacist was charging me $30 for the same exact thing, yeah? But I'm not going to be that person. Andrew helped me see that. Groceries arrived and I've had a phone call with uni. Oh my God, I fall more in love with my uni every day, I think, and the people who work there. So I'm now being put into contact with writing mentors, language and learning, language and learning advisors or something like that. Anyway, what they will be doing is helping me plan and structure my week, because as we know, just the fucking timetable, looking at it causes my brain to go woof, no, or out the door, yeah? It's been a very, very long time since I have worked full-time or done anything full-time or anything that's involved that kind of structure. Like uni, there is no structure. They don't give a fuck if you don't go to class. And unfortunately, even though I've promised myself I will never be that student, I always end up that student about halfway through trimester because of stress and overwhelm and assignments and bullshit, yeah? But now all these people are going to be helping me and keeping me track, and I'm going to have like proper I don't know, like proper professional people who get paid to help me manage my day. And that is legitimately what the fuck I've been wanting for so long. And it turns out it does exist. And yes, so it's been a good day so far. I do need to hurry the fuck up and go. And the reason I turned this camera on 20 minutes and 35 seconds ago was to show you something that I'm just like thinks pretty funny, because I've got multiple salt lamps in my house, yeah, right? So for whatever reason, I went through a period where they were blowing, right? The bulbs, yeah? So I just bought bulk, right? So there's like, I don't know, however many in there. And I made the comment to boss. It was like, at least one thing sorted, yeah? It's like, because I've got what I need. Now, this is a mess, what I'm about to show you, because I found like 6 or 7 fucking pairs of jeans in my cupboard that I didn't know were there, that I need to sort through. But, people, so that is the bulb, but the part that it's screwed to is in there. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure how to fucking fix that one. But in all due fairness, no, that doesn't make any sense based on what I'm going to say next. It's a really good thing that Andrew has the coolest wife in the world, because I basically borrow her husband all the time to be my handyman. Which I very, very, very much appreciate. So you know, okay, Andrew? You're like family now. It's all good, man. I'm not even making any sense. I need to shut up. I'm having one of those days. Words come out, nothing makes sense. But that's why this is free-flowing consciousness when I make these types of videos. And for anyone who did not see last night's videos, there's 2 very long ones and a very short one at the end. In the long one that goes for like an hour, like the second video, I mentioned the artist who drew these, yeah? I swear to God, the video was uploading when the email from her came through saying, I'm back, baby. So she's been away for a few years having children and doing the mom thing, yeah? And now she's back, she's painting again, and she's having it's like a show, and I'm just like, I haven't mentioned this particular person, like, in the sense that I did yesterday, because I was like, if you like the art, like, I fucking love it. My whole house will be filled with art like this eventually, because it's my stuff, right? If it makes other people feel weird, that's not really my problem, yeah? But yeah, I literally had to email her. I was like, talk about the biggest synchronicity of ever. I said, I literally told my followers on my channel that I'm finally making videos on. So when we first met, it was like 5 or 6 years ago. And she knows all about my dream and this and that. And we talked for a long time off and on when I did have socials. And yeah, I was like, I mentioned in my video that if anyone's interested in your art, to contact me for your details, and your email saying you were back, like, came through while I was uploading. Like, talk about the universe giving me signs. I'm on the right path. I know I am. And my lamp can be fixed. It's all good. And I can walk a boss later. Everything's cool. But I gotta shut up, upload, and then go, because you know me, I'm always behind in life, but hey, at least I'm smiling, sending light and love to all of you. Bye now.